There was no joy in saying goodbye to the elders when the only daughter-in-law of the house, Rakshita, who was sitting in the hall looking at the paper, held her colorful bag in a sophisticated outfit and left for the office. Saroja said affectionately to her daughter-in-law, Rakshita, come early today at 4 p.m. Abhai's cousin is coming from Mysore to see you. Don't forget. Auntie, it might be difficult to come early. There is a heavy workload. It won't be possible at 4 pm. Even if we leave there at 5 pm, it will be 7 pm by the time we reach home after crossing the Bangalore traffic. You all will be talking to them till then, and then I will come and meet you, said the daughter in law, kissing her. Then, laughing out loud, she said, Abhai's cousin is coming to see me only. Isn't it natural for a sister to come to her brother's house? Here, their beloved Baba's sermon is different. Let it all be attended to comfortably. Recognizing the irony in his wife's words, Abhai, who was newlywed, smiled and said warmly, Let it all be come home soon, he said. Waving to her husband, Rakshita walked briskly and got on her scooty with a smile. Seeing her mother's serious face, Abhay asked, What's wrong, mother? Why are you in a serious mood? That's not it. When her mother said seriously, Abhay looked at his father. Vignesh gestured to his son as if to say no more. The father and son started talking through gestures. After Abhay left for the office, Vignesh told his wife, I will try to come home as early as possible in the evening. I thought you would come home by the time your sister comes. Why are you so silent? Saroja said in annoyance to her husband, What can I do but remain silent? How much time will I have to adjust to this new daughter-in-law? From morning till night that queen forgets that she is the daughter-in-law of this house and feels comfortable without lifting a stick from here to there. She always dresses up like a colorful fan and runs around outside. I grit my teeth and say that I should not talk or continue. What is this? Why did you leave her like a colorful fan? Why are you calling her a colorful fan? Isn't this going to get worse? A woman who dresses up like a colorful fan and goes out in a tip-top makeup as if she has no connection with the house. Should she be called the auspicious goddess of the house instead of a colorful fan? Does she have a single quality that makes her fit? She has come, she is in this house to show us a kindness. She has made us waste our time. I wanted a cultured girl to come to this house as my daughter-in-law. Your daughter-in-law poured cold water on everything. As soon as I see her, I get a headache. It's been 3 months since I came to this house. Have you paid any heed to a single word I said? No matter what I say, she says it right in front of her nose like a piece of wood and walks away with her legs crossed. She makes fun of every word. Do you know how respectfully our daughter Sunaina is treated in her in-laws' house? Naina is how her in-laws have treated her. Her in-laws have said that our Sunaina is a Vedakya. Seeing that we have a son, she brought this colorful fan and tied it to our head. Vignesh held his wife's shoulder and said soothingly, Why are you taking so much tension? Your BP is increasing unfairly. She is still newly married. Everything will be fine later. Don't come to a decision about her right now. You are also a graduate, not an old-fashioned mother-in-law. Don't label your modern daughter-in-law as a color fan after seeing her modern fashion up-to-date life. Abhay is a very practical boy. He liked Rakshita and married her, so she must have some special qualities. She is full of very special qualities. These qualities of hers have made him a slave. He hums and claps at her worthless words which are not worthy of a single penny. She who is thin and fair is playing him like a fool with her one-sided mannerisms. He always smiles as if everything she says is a joke. Don't you think I don't see all these flaws of hers? Vignesh tried to lighten the mood, smiling. Did your mother-in-law ever see the good qualities in her daughter-in-law? You were a gentle-natured person from the beginning. Did your mother-in-law ever see that? Even in her anger, Saroja laughed at that. Vignesh said, Okay, I'm leaving for the office now. You can let go of your anger and take some rest. You'll be completely busy when your sister comes back, and left grabbing his briefcase. After a while, his sister-in-law came, put clothes in the washing machine, put dishes in the backyard for her to wash, and got busy with their household chores. It was breakfast time. They finished cooking early and stopped at 3 o'clock to rest for 2 hours. Meanwhile, Sanaka called her. Saroja, I just left Mysore by car. I will reach your house by 6 pm. By now, your daughter in law has come from the office, right? Look, I didn't speak much to that new girl, even in the hustle and bustle of the wedding. Who, Sanaka, come here, she said softly. Sanaka gave some more orders and called her. She is 10 years elder to her Vignesh. That is why Saroja is very close and affectionate to Vignesh. After her mother-in-law left, Saroja had thought of Sanaka as her little mother-in-law. How else would Saroja get sleep after hearing Sanaka's orders? In order to strengthen their friendship and love of 3 years, her son Abhay had introduced her to her parents as the daughter-in-law of that house. The elders would always laugh at whatever he said, saying that they should not put their only son before them. Even without showing any pride in being a bigot, had painted her daughter-in-law as much as she wanted and filled the house with pride. Both Rakshita's parents were professors who taught students in college, all top level business. They lived in Chennai and joined a very modern, well educated family. Rakshita, who had come to Bangalore to study engineering, had won her son's heart right from the college and had joined a job here and was living in a hostel. The fact that she was the beloved girl who Abhay loved made Saroja forget all her faults. Her husband, son, house, and family were all her world. After serving her elders, she had become an ideal daughter in law, and now she had become a mother in law, a very simple minded and naive woman. As the days passed, the daughter in law realized that this house was not just a paying guest house, but that it was not her home, her own. She thought that it was her right to enjoy the comforts of that house. But that modern daughter in law had no awareness that she also had her own responsibilities. She kept her mother in law away, saying that she just had to eat and be comfortable with her husband to make ends meet. When the son was portrayed as a loyal, ideal husband who would take her to the dining room every time, how did the daughter in law integrate into that house as a member? She would wake up late in the morning after her son had supplied coffee. She would bring it to the dining room, throw the plate away, and leave. If she finished her work and came home after 7 pm and went out for a walk, it would not be surprising if she came home at 11 pm. She would eat out 4 days a week, and if not, she would eat in her room. The next day, she usually left at 10 am on Sunday but returned at 10 pm. So, how did that daughter in law become a member of the family? That's why Saroja had nicknamed her the colored fan. She was very beautiful, smart, and had a dashing nature. She always had neat makeup on. She always gave her clothes to the dry cleaner, ironed them, and walked around like a decorative doll without getting her sari ruffled. She loved Abhay more than life. Everyone knew that clearly. Her office was very far from home, so she would leave before Abhay. She would reach home only after Abhay arrived. The heavy traffic of Bangalore did not let her come quickly. As soon as she got home, she would immediately freshen up, drink coffee, chat with her husband, watch TV, and go out. She would always take care of her clothes, get up, hairstyle, and accessories, thinking that she was the only one in the world. Saroja would be amazed to see her behavior. She would not be shy about the fact that she was a new member of the house, but she would act as if she had been there for many years. When her husband described her as a colorful fan many times, she would laugh it off. She was allergic to stepping into the kitchen. Once Saroja told her affectionately, "Try to learn some cooking on your vacation," and suggested it. That day, everyone in the house was watching TV leisurely. "But why?" Rakshita asked innocently. "Anyway, you might have to cook yourself when an emergency comes." "Auntie, I know how to cook a little, making Maggie, toasting bread, and so on. If you adjust it somehow, it will be fine. The rest is up to you if you learn slowly," she said, hugging her mother in law. "Why should I be tensed when you are managing everything so well. Tell me when you cannot, we can hire a full time cook. You can arrange it tomorrow. It will be so much easier for you too. Hearing that, her mother in law was shocked. What would have happened if someone had brought someone the next day for this colorful fan? Okay, leave it alone. You will learn to cook whenever you feel like it, whenever you have time. I don't need anything right now. My sister is working somewhere else. I will manage it myself. Both father and son kept laughing at this. That day, Saroja told her husband, "You see, she doesn't feel like doing any household work. She says if she ever learns something, do it yourself. She keeps quiet and doesn't want to talk anymore." Vignesh naturally started laughing at her style. Yes, yes, don't I know you are the mother in law who scolds her? Vignesh had come home in the evening before Sanaka came. Saroja was talking warmly to Vignesh, and after having coffee, Sanaka asked, "What do you think my daughter in law, a woman who goes to the office in the morning and comes home after 7 p.m., has any memory of her husband, house, mother in law, service, etc.? You are right, Sanaka. You are not saying that we should serve in this time. Why are we here lying in bed like patients? Rakshita is a very smart, intelligent girl. Vignesh told his elder sister. The disinterest that appeared on Saroja's face when Rakshita's name was mentioned, could it be possible to avoid the experience Sanaka's eyes? He learned a lot from that. Sanaka is now like a mother to Vignesh, who has no mother or father. She was 10 years older than him and had a warm relationship with him from the very beginning. Sanaka was a very traditional woman from the very beginning. She had complete control over her own home. Naturally, she was very interested in discourses, storytelling, pastimes. She would go whenever there was a satsang of senior Swamijis in the city. It would take 7 to 8 days to go on a pilgrimage. Baba's new ashram was going to be opened in Bangalore. There was a special lecture there for 2 3 days, so he had come from Mysore to attend it. It was 8 o'clock when Abhay Rakshita reached home that day. When he saw his mother in law, he bowed down to her and took her blessings. Rakshita went and came fresh, applied light makeup, and started chatting with everyone. She ate at the dining table, joking with everyone. Even Sanaka was surprised to see this modern daughter in law sitting comfortably like a guest without asking anyone who came. Then she watched TV at her mother in law's and started discussing the political activities of the day. Saroja was struggling to lift the pot and turban herself and get the rest of the work done by her sister. While at home, her husband was arguing in favor of the bill being passed in parliament. Here, she was arguing in favor of it. Is not she arguing and criticizing the elders' words like this? She suddenly felt angry, but Sanaka remained silent, saying that it was not right to scold her in the face of adversity. Uncle, many of my friends have joined the protest against the passing of this bill. I would like to join in, but I don't get a heavy work leave in the office. Sanaka couldn't help but say, "This time Saroja should come with me to Baba's new ashram and spend 2 days with me in satsang. I don't know much about the business here. I go to the ashram in Bengaluru. Saroja knows all the places here very well. What's the matter, Rakshita? You should take charge of the house for 2 days." Sanaka, don't leave our house like that, she said, naturally feeling upset as she had decided on her own before she could say anything. Sanaka was really angry. The girl who had come the day before yesterday was criticizing the elders and speaking like this. And they were a little harsh, saying, "Listening to Swamiji, we forget about the hardships of our family. We shouldn't say no to that." So, does Swamiji cure all diseases? Are there so many hospitals and surgeons in the world? Do scientists like NASA think his words are right? Look, I don't think you have ever heard such a discourse on knowledge, meditation, etc. It's one thing to go to the office in a tip top dress in the morning and come home in the evening, but it's another thing to walk confidently on the spiritual path. These bell ringing words of Sanaka made Rakshita frown. She was not bad by nature. She didn't want to hurt others, but she was lazy. She didn't know how to please others. As an only child, she wanted everyone to please her, and she thought that what I said was right. So, in a slightly lowered and bold voice, she said, Sir, this philosophy of Gnana Dhyana is not of any interest to me. Saroja, are you coming or Saroja felt that the peace of her house was being disturbed. She should not give it up, and so that Sanaka would not be upset, she said softly, Maybe I don't think I can come today, sister. I can't sit on the floor for more than 10 minutes due to my knee pain. Then Abhay said to Amma, When you are in so much pain, sitting for 12 hours is not an option, Amma. You go and come. I will drop you off. You don't have to find a new place. Sanaka got angry that her words were not followed. So Sanaka left in Abhay's car. At 9 p.m. Vignesh was brought back. After dinner, Sanaka said to Saroja while she was sleeping, Ababa, what time is it? Your daughter-in-law is a Bombay girl, she said. Take control of the reins right now, otherwise she will drag her husband and build another house next month. Saroja laughed dryly and said, Akka, she is a daughter-in-law, not a horse to be pulled by the reins. And Sanaka fell silent. Saroja, who had always been an innocent cowhand, had never stepped forward or kicked back, would not allow an atmosphere of unrest to arise in the house. After a while, Sanaka continued, No, our innocent Abhay got this colorful fan from where, but I definitely don't think she will bring peace to this house. If you always dress up like a Dasara doll and wear modern makeup, won't the family be burdened? At least reduce your loud mouth and teach them to respect their elders. Saroja smiled. Have you noticed her eyes and gestures? This Abhay keeps his eyes on her and sits there looking at her. That's why she always stays fresh even when she is at home. You know, if our gold is the only thing that matters, what will Acharya say? She always changes her clothes in tip-top shape and knows how to be charming, said Sanaka, who did not like her at all. What are you talking about? Today's girls are throwing a lot of dust on their husbands. They play around with each other. After telling them everything they knew about the art of controlling their daughter-in-law, Sanaka went to sleep. It was past 12 when she went to bed. Even Saroja could not sleep. Now that they were familiar with Baba's ashram, they booked an Uber taxi for her at 10 a.m. the next morning. This time Sanaka said that she would stay there for 2 days and left. She was supposed to leave for Mysore the same day she arrived. After they left, Abhay told his wife, Rakshita, don't talk like that in front of your mother-in-law. It had been so many years and one day my mother had never spoken out loud in front of her mother-in-law. Abhay, your mother was from that era. Modern girls like us don't have the patience and tolerance that she had. It's my nature to tell what I saw. You don't know. How can I change my mind? Saroja was annoyed by her daughter-in-law talking to her son all at once. But she kept quiet, thinking that it was the madness of the present times. She knew that she would never be able to handle her philosophical nature. Sunaina, who was 4 years older than Abhay, had arrived home with her 2 children. The marriage didn't go as planned when I spoke to Rakshita at home. I came after so many days of vacation as the children had a holiday from school, her mother was saying to Saroja. Her husband Suresh had not come with her. He had not got leave from the office. Sunaina was also considered a favorite daughter-in-law in her mother-in-law's house. When Rakshita came in the evening, Sunaina treated her with coffee and chatted with her nicely. Even though she knew that she was the eldest, Rakshita did not formally call her sister but called her Naina like a friend. The children also liked their uncle's new wife very much. Rakshita had brought them many modern toys and chocolates. When Rakshita took leave the next day to spend time with Sunaina and stayed at home, Saroja was very surprised, thinking that it was a blessing for her daughter. She appreciated that her daughter-in-law had done so much without her asking. Sunaina had won the traditional house as a daughter-in-law. Although it was true that she did not feel very free and comfortable there, she knew her limitations. Suresh was also her mother's little one. Sunaina had tied bracelets and amulets around her neck for many vows and rituals. Naina, it's time to wear matching accessories. Why are you wearing so many bracelets and amulets? What should I do? We are very traditionalists. There is no temple that they don't go to, no vows that they don't perform. That's why I have tied all these things as they say. Whatever the occasion, tie a thread immediately. Let alone me, let's see how many threads our Suresh ties and leaves for the office like that. I was not afraid of who would play there. Rakshita immediately said with a smile, if there is a girl like me there, she will definitely not let me play. Sunaina also laughed at this. Saroja did not like it. Rakshita, remember that Suresh is the son-in-law of this house. It's not right to joke like that. Yes, that's the point, Rakshita said, patting her shoulder and laughing even more. Saroja was taken aback. Is she playing her husband's brother-in-law so lightly? She blurts out whatever comes to her mouth without a filter. They went out with the children to the cinema and the mall. Naina, are you always in a salwar suit, a sari? Shouldn't you wear a western dress? Right now, that's not allowed in that house. Shita remembered something and said, I am different. My style is different. Shouldn't I tell them? When she said this while twirling her hands and mouth in Rajnikant style, Sunaina and the children started laughing loudly. Seeing the excitement of the people leaving, their laughter and the laughter of the people, Saroja calculated that all this was happening because of this colorful fan. She was worried about what else she would joke about, what kind of trouble awaited her next. But because of her daughter-in-law, her daughter and grandchildren were celebrating happily, and seeing her pure love for them made her happy in her heart. She felt that her daughter had never been this happy when she came home before. Meanwhile, she received a call from Sanaka. She warned her not to let her sit on her head and take control. Saroja was just sobbing. Sunaina had only been here for 1 week. That day was the third day since she had come to her house. Saroja had received a rare call from her brother Suresh that day. He said that their son Vagisha was coming to Bangalore with his wife and children. After hearing this, she became serious. She told everyone about Vagisha's arrival. Hearing that, the father and son remained calm. But Rakshita noticed that the mother and daughter looked at each other and became serious. After that, she noticed that Sunaina was out of mood for the whole day. Sunaina, who had been bouncing around like a firecracker and happy until now, was completely silent. Her children, adapting to her mother's mood, sat quietly with comics in their hands. When the TV was finished, the children went outside to play in the park. Only Sunaina was left like that. The next morning, after the father and son left for the office, the daughter was saying something softly in her mother's room. Rakshita tried to hear it from outside. Now she was slowly starting to think of this house as her home and the people here as her own. Rakshita was confused, not knowing why her mother-in-law had backed away after hearing Vagisha's name. Sunaina was saying, Mom, I will leave for Tumkur tomorrow morning. No, you just came now. Don't you want to stay for at least 1 week? No, I don't even want to see Vagisha's face. I will stay with his family. You won't have any trouble. Just ignore him and be at peace. You can easily tell me to ignore him, Mom. I don't even want to see his face. Rakshita, who was outside, understood that something was wrong. She came in and sat between them and said, Naina, why do you go? Why do you have to go? This is your hometown, your home. You are all mine now. Should you not share your joys and sorrows with me? Tell me if you think I am yours too. Surely, Rakshita, you are like my sister too. Sunaina spoke naturally and openly. Vagisha is my uncle's son. He is crazy about girls. He had come here before my marriage. He had set his eyes on me and tried to ruin me. Everyone knew about my shouting and screaming. He immediately left in shame. Instead of scolding him, everyone kept my mouth shut so that this matter should not be known outside. He did not even come to my marriage. Now I don't want to see his face. Then do not see his face. You are in your place. But he was coming here. Saroja remained silent. Rakshita said, Auntie, everyone does this in middle class homes like ours. They are worried that the matter should not be known outside. The girl keeps her mouth shut. This increases the pain of the girls. If you had slapped him on the forehead that day, Naina wouldn't have talked about leaving home today. Come on, Naina, there's no need to worry now. When everyone comes to Bengaluru, my mother-in-law will have so much work. She won't say anything. I won't be able to help her since I'm going to the office. I won't tolerate Naina being tortured. She immediately called Abhay. Abhay, you call Suresh uncle right now and tell him that we have all accidentally gone on a tour. I had made a sudden plan because Naina came. Tell him that you booked the tickets yourself. Tell him that my mother-in-law didn't know about this. No one knew what Abhay had said to her, but Rakshita had a mischievous smile on her face. Do it now, love you, bye. Understanding the matter, Sunaina and Saroja's faces lit up with victory. The daughter leaned on her mother's lap and sighed in relief. Look, mother-in-law, I have to do all this. A woman should not be left behind, shedding tears like a helpless child. She has to fight at her own level. She has to wake up and be ready to fight. Abhay has said that you have faced so much hardship with such innocence. Now that I have come, I will definitely not let you continue like this, she said confidently, but mother and daughter laughed at the way she said it. Saroja patted her head lovingly. Oh, I just straightened it. My hairstyle is gone, she said dramatically, and everyone laughed again. Meanwhile, they got a call. Saroja noticed Sanaka's name and walked out of the room. After finishing her usual conversation, Sanaka asked, How is your colorful fan? Saroja smiled and said, She is the center of attention in this house now. She ended the conversation briefly, hung up the phone, and returned to the same room. Rakshita asked, What is it, our Sanaka? Nothing. She called for her well-being. And you asked her what she was doing with this colorful fan, right? Saroja was shocked. Is this what you were saying, aunt? Rakshita laughed out loud. Don't worry, auntie. When I was talking about me the first day, I heard you talking to her the same way you did now. Did you not just say that, auntie? I am not the kind of person who sits around crying helplessly. I am observing everyone, but I love you all very much, she said, hugging her mother-in-law. So you too joined in with your mother-in-law, Sunaina objected. Sorry, please forgive me. Everyone laughed out loud when Saroja dramatically held her ears and made her blow the fan. Look, your mother-in-law made her hold her ears for this colorful fan, she said, and everyone laughed out loud, including the father and son who had just entered the house. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.